Ever get that feeling? Walking into some schools, you can just tell. Discipline, it's different there. Like one little slip up and boom, principal's office. We're diving into that today. Disproportionate discipline. What's going on in our schools, black students, students with disabilities, tougher consequences, same actions as their classmates. It's been bugging me.
Yeah, you're right on the money with that. This isn't just, isolated incidents here and there. It's deep-rooted, systemic. The whole education system, really, for way too long.
We've got a guide for our deep dive today. Dr. Howie Knoff, Project ECU Educational Solutions, he wrote this blog post. It's really got me thinking. He's a big voice for fairness, effective discipline, and he's not afraid to say what needs to be said.
One thing Dr. Knopf really pushes for, it's not just collecting that discipline data at the end of the year. He wants schools to analyze it regularly. Think of it like a monthly checkup. Spot those patterns early, address them before they become huge problems.
It's like preventative medicine, but for the school environment. Smart. And speaking of patterns, one thing Dr. Knopp pointed out, pre-pandemic, discipline rates were actually going down overall. Good news, right? But then they shot back up, and get that gap between black students and their peers, it never really closed. It's like we took one step forward, two steps back.
Sadly, yeah. It's in the national data, specific studies too, not just a one-off thing. Has this caught your eye? In your community, news stories. It's definitely something we should all be paying attention to.
Absolutely. Okay, let's get specific. Dr. Knopf talks about Jeremiah Ganzi, 14-year-old student, biracial from Colorado. His story, well, he and his family went through some really awful stuff. Racial slurs, prejudice at school.
And this is why we need these stories. Reminds us we aren't just dealing with numbers on a page. Real lives deeply affected. And Jeremiah's experience, it's what can happen when racial bias and lack of support go unchecked in our schools. Just heartbreaking.
Totally. So we got to understand this. What's causing these disparities? Dr. Knopf highlights some really interesting research on this. There's this one study, American Sociological Review, it caught my eye because of how they did it. Video vignettes, teachers watching them. Same misbehavior, but the students were different races. Like they were trying to isolate, just look at race.
That's it, exactly. And this study, it's called Double Jeopardy: Teacher Biases, Racialized Organizations, and the Production of Racial Ethnic Disparities in School Discipline by Jan T. Owens. The findings were pretty stark. They found this double jeopardy, particularly for black boys, seen as more to blame, same actions as white peers, and more likely to be sent to the principal.
Wow, like double whammy. It makes you wonder. Same behavior, different reactions. There's something more going on there, right?
Yeah, you're getting at it. It might not be just those individual teachers' biases. The study, it points to the whole school climate. More students of color, often the atmosphere is more punitive overall. Think about it, a school where every little thing is treated like a major offense. Even small biases, they get magnified.
The school itself kind of amplifying those biases.
Right. Have you ever, think back to your own school days, did it ever feel like some students were just more likely to get punished, same actions as others?
Definitely. And there's another study Dr. Knopf mentions, digs into teacher experience. It's called Troublemakers, the role of frequent teacher referrers in expanding racial disciplinary disproportionalities. Huge study. They looked at a big California school district, 4 years of data.
This one found something pretty big, it turned out. Teachers with less experience, far more likely to be sending kids to the principal for discipline. And here's the troubling part. They were widening that racial gap in who was getting disciplined.
New teachers, maybe they haven't got the tools yet, the experience, so they end up unintentionally contributing to the problem.
That's what the study suggests, yeah. Makes you think, what are we doing to support new teachers, especially in schools with a lot of diversity? How do we help them handle these tough situations, avoid those harmful biases?
Right. It's not about blaming anyone. It's about giving those new teachers what they need to be successful, especially in those tougher environments.
It's the system. We throw them in the deep end, no support. We're setting them up to fail, the teachers and the students.
And then we come full circle, back to Jeremiah Ganzi. His story, it's a gut punch reminder. This isn't just data points. It's about real kids. Their lives are being shaped by these biases, these failures in the system. Yeah, numbers on a spreadsheet, it's one thing. But then you hear a story like Jeremiah's. Real people hurting. Makes it hit home.
It all comes back to those root causes we were talking about. The school climate, the bias, lack of experience in some of the teachers. It can create a really tough place for students of color.
Like it's all piling on, pushing kids out instead of supporting them.
Right. But, Dr. Knopf, he doesn't just lay out the problems. He's got ideas, solutions. One that stuck with me, targeted support for new teachers. Especially in those diverse schools, that's key.
Instead of just throwing them in and saying, good luck, give them the tools, the knowledge, set them up for success.
Think about it. Brand new teacher, just out of college, all of a sudden they've got this classroom full of students, different backgrounds, all kinds of challenges, a lot to handle, you know? And if they don't really get those cultural differences, how kids develop, how to manage a classroom well, early intervention strategies, it's more likely they fall back on those punitive measures.
Building a house with no tools, no blueprints, not going to go well.
Exactly. We need to invest in our educators, especially when they're just starting out. Professional development, coaching, mentorship, that ongoing support, it can make all the difference.
It's not just a one-time workshop and done. It's got to be a culture of support learning all the time.
And you know what? Benefits everyone in the end. Teachers feel supported. They know how to handle those tough situations, less likely to keep doing those harmful biases, you know.
And the students, feeling safe, respected, like they matter.
Exactly. So it brings us to the bigger picture. Right? How do we make schools truly a place where every student feels welcome, supported, no matter their race, background, disability?
The million-dollar question. No easy answer.
No, but one thing's for sure. We can't just sit around and wait for it to change. We have to push for it, for those policies, those practices, equity, justice in our schools. Get involved.
Where do we even start?
It starts with awareness, right? Learn about these issues, those tough conversations. Gotta have them. Race, bias, privilege.
It could be uncomfortable, but it's got to happen.
And then challenge the way things are. Advocate for change. Local level, national level, wherever you can. School board meetings. Talk to your elected officials. Speak up when you see injustice happening.
Every voice matters. I always think about that Dr. King quote. The arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends toward justice. It's powerful.
Powerful. And it reminds us, change, it is possible, but it doesn't just happen overnight. It takes work. It takes people not giving up, that commitment to making the world a better place, a more just world, you know?
That's where we all come in. Parents, teachers, people in the community, concerned citizens. We all have a part to play.
So what can you do, starting today, right now, to make your community better?
It might seem small, but even just talking to your kids about race, bias, that plants a seed. Volunteer at a school, help out a new teacher, donate to organizations fighting for educational equity.
Every action matters, even the small ones. It all adds up, like those ripples in a pond, you know? One little action, it can spread out, make waves.
I like that, the ripple effect. It really shows how much power we have, each of us. We don't have to wait for someone else to fix it. We can start making a difference today.
That's what keeps me going, that hope. When we work together, speak up, demand better for our kids, we can make a world that's fairer for everyone.
Okay, so we're wrapping up our deep dive into disproportionate discipline in schools. But as we go, I'm going to leave you with this. What's your ripple going to be? What are you going to do today to help bend that arc toward justice?
Our kids deserve it. It's their future on the line.
You know, it's easy to get caught up in all the research, the data, but then you hear a story like Jeremiah's, and it brings it all back down to earth. These aren't just numbers, they're real kids, you know, facing real problems.
And it makes you realize this isn't something we can just ignore, hope it goes away, we got to do something.
Dr. Knopf's blog. It's a wake-up call, right? Like, we can't just sit back, got to be willing to challenge how things are, demand better for these students.
And that starts with us, each of us. What can you do right where you are? Maybe it's having those hard conversations, your family, your friends. Maybe it's volunteering at a school or supporting those organizations out there working for better education, more equity.
Yeah, or even just showing up, you know, school board meeting, talking to your elected officials. It all makes a difference. Use your voice.
Think of it like this. If everyone just does one small thing, it all adds up. It's like those are ripples in a pond, right? One little action, but the waves, they can go far.
I like that. The ripple effect shows how much power we really have, each of us. We don't have to wait for someone else to come along and fix it. We can start today.
That's what gives me hope, that we can come together, speak up, say, hey, our kids deserve better. And when we do that, we can create a world that's, well, it's just more fair for everyone.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, just want to leave you with this thought. What's your ripple going to be? What are you going to do today to help make things a little more just?
Our kids are counting on us. Their future depends on it.
That's it for our deep dive today, looking at disproportionate discipline in schools.
Thanks for being here with us.
And until next time, keep diving deep.